Is the blue wave sweeping across Arizona? If so, what does this mean for our traditionally red state moving forward?
Plus, the science behind calling races, what it takes for major news outlets to declare a winner before all the votes are counted.
And striving for a tolerant society sounds nice, but what does it actually mean? We'll break it down later this half hour.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Stephanie Rosales.
And I'm Sean Rice. Thank you for joining us.
Ballot counting is still underway in Arizona. The Maricopa County Recorder's Office says there are still more than 400,000 early ballots and 18,000 provisional ballots to be processed. Early this morning, with just 84% of the votes counted, the Associated Press projected the former vice president will take Arizona. As of 3 p.m. today, he was ahead with 51% of the votes compared to Trump's 47.6%.
As for the U.S. Senate race, Arizona appears to be riding the blue wave. According to the AP, Democrat Mark Kelly is projected to win against Republican incumbent Martha McSally. At last check, he was up about 5 percentage points with 52.6% of the votes, compared to 47.4% for McSally. And the winner may not have to wait until January to be sworn in, since the race is a special election after the passing of Republican Senator John McCain. Once the election results are certified, the winner is expected to take over right away.
With some outlets calling races showing Arizona as a blue state, reporter Taylor Tassler-Oatley looked into Arizona's history with the two parties.
Early this morning, the AP called Biden and Mark Kelly winners here in Arizona. If that holds true, this could be the first time Arizona has gone blue in a presidential race since 1996. There were a few more Democratic wins throughout the state, changing the balance of what was a predominantly Republican state.
In a speech last night, presidential nominee Joe Biden told voters he believes he is on track to win the election.
We believe one of the nets has suggested we've already won Arizona, but we're confident about Arizona. That's a turnaround.
Arizona has become a key state in this election, and winning it could push Biden over the 270 votes needed to win the Electoral College. Paul Bentz, Senior Vice President of Research and Operations at High Ground Public Affairs, says last night shows the changing demographic of Arizona voters.
Maricopa County is the fastest growing county in the United States. It also makes up about 60+% of the Arizona electorate.
If Mark Kelly continues to lead over Martha McSally, this would be the first time since 1953 that Arizona has had two Democratic senators.
I'm also confident that when the votes are counted, that we're going to be successful in this mission.
But Bentz says it would be difficult for both Trump and McSally to win Arizona at this point.
It's one of those things, though, that to believe that the president can get 60-40 on all remaining ballots is pretty much a long shot at this point. But they're holding on hope.
Political consulting firm Data Orbital is estimating that President Donald Trump will end up winning Arizona with many of the uncounted ballots leaning heavily Republican. In the broadcast center, Taylor Tassler-Oatley, Cronkite News.
As the race to 270 electoral votes tightens, both candidates remain hopeful that they can still win. Last night, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden delivered brief remarks to a crowd of supporters at a drive-in gathering in Wilmington, Delaware. Biden expressed his optimism by saying he believes he is on track to get to the finish line.
We feel good about where we are. I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election.
Biden went on to say the race is not over until every vote and every ballot is counted, urging Americans to be patient. But President Donald Trump shared a different view.
We will win this, and as far as I'm concerned, we already have won.
Right now, the Trump campaign is reportedly filing a lawsuit in Michigan to stop the vote count there. The campaign released a statement today saying it has asked the state for, quote, meaningful access to observe the opening and counting of the ballots. The campaign also wants to review ballots that have already been opened and counted, while the Trump campaign says the lawsuit has been filed in the Michigan Court of Claims. The docket clerk for the Court of Claims, Morgan Adams, told CNN the court has not received the filing. Michigan carries 16 electoral votes.
Meanwhile, Governor Doug Ducey took to Twitter to say it's too early to call Arizona for Biden. after Fox News projected him the winner with just under 25% of the precincts being reported. Ducey tweeted, quote, "It's far too early to call the election in Arizona. Election day votes are not fully reported, and we haven't even started to count early ballots dropped off at the polls. We protected Election Day. Let's count the votes, all the votes, before making declarations." When Fox called the race, Trump was trailing Biden by 200,000 votes.
Arizona firmly positioned itself as an important battleground state for the 2020 election. Again, as it stands right now, some media outlets have already called the race in Arizona, while others remain hesitant. Jay Coulter explains why.
Making projections can be a tricky game, and different media organizations have different thresholds for calling a race. Two media outlets, Fox News and the Associated Press, have called Arizona for former Vice President Joe Biden. So how do they do that when so many ballots are left to be counted? The AP called the race in Arizona at 12:50 a.m. local time. The media organization says it did a thorough analysis of the ballots cast statewide and those that were still outstanding. With 80% of the vote counted, Biden had placed himself ahead by 5 percentage points. That was a roughly 130,000 vote lead over President Donald Trump, with about 2.6 million ballots counted. Those still left to be processed included mail-in votes from Maricopa County, which has shown strong support for Biden. The AP concluded that there were simply not enough outstanding votes to allow President Donald Trump to catch up. Arizona was one of the most talked about states last night on cable news. It has a long history of supporting Republican candidates, but there has been a shift left in Maricopa County, which accounts for 60% of the state's voters. Arizona has voted red in every election since Truman in 1948, with the exception of Bill Clinton in 1996. At the Google touchscreen, Jay Coulter, Cronkite News.
One of the clear winners last night was Prop 207. Arizona voters overwhelmingly approved the ballot measure to legalize recreational marijuana. Medical use of marijuana was already legal in the Grand Canyon state, but a proposition to fully legalize cannabis did not pass in 2016. Now, Arizona becomes the 13th state to approve recreational weed, including neighboring California, Nevada, and Colorado. Two other states also voted to approve Prop 207 this election, South Dakota and New Jersey. This means adults 21 and older will now be able to legally possess up to an ounce of pot and 5 grams of concentrates and grow 6 plants. It also provides the establishment of licensed dispensaries built on top of the current medical marijuana system.
With 85% of the votes reported, the fate of Proposition 208 still remains unknown. If passed, the Invest in Education Act would mean a tax increase on some of Arizona's highest earners in order to increase funding for teachers and educational programs. Those earning more than $250,000 for a single filing or $500,000 for a joint filing would see a 3.5% increase to the current rate of 4.5% income surtax. The revenue from this increase will go towards hiring teachers, classroom support, student support services, mentoring, and retention for new teachers, as well as training. Governor Ducey opposed the passage of this proposition. He wrote an op-ed for the Phoenix Business Journal claiming the new tax would be horrible for the state's economy. The AP has yet to declare a winner for this proposition.
With many ballots still left to be counted and races not officially called in Arizona, it's important to note that this newscast was taped earlier in the afternoon. At the time of our taping, the results we are reporting here were up to date. However, in a still fluid election season, results may change. To track the very latest on election 2020 results, just go to our website, cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Coming up after the break, a look at recent data trends as coronavirus cases continue to climb in Arizona.
Plus, how a Phoenix pilot program to cool pavement could affect the urban heat island. Next.
Welcome to another edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
Coronavirus cases are continuing to surge here in Arizona. Positive case numbers have been on the rise for the last month in what is being called the second wave of the virus. Late last week, before the Halloween holiday, the numbers rose to almost 2,000 positive cases. But as we drew into early this week, Monday's totals dropped to around the middle 600s. Now, this could be attributed to slower reporting over the weekend. As of this morning, the numbers had dropped once again to 814.
Back in the spring, there were fewer people going to work, fewer people out and about, more people were at home. Now people, if you go on the roads, you can see in the morning that there's actually a commute there. More people going to work, more businesses open, schools are open. Those have changed. Also, hospitalization has changed. Back in the spring, there was a much faster connection between new cases and hospitalization. Now, fewer people are getting admitted to the hospital than were back then.
Currently, the national numbers stand at over 9.5 million positive cases of COVID-19 and more than 233,000 deaths.
The global pandemic has changed the college experience for many university students as well. As Haley Bartow reports, student organizations and clubs have had to adapt to a virtual setting.
The fall 2020 semester has been one that many students would have never expected. Universities have put strict restrictions on the student body to ensure everyone's safety. However, these restrictions are making it harder for students to engage in their normal school activities. Arizona State University nursing student Abby Robertson explains how COVID-19 has affected her organization, the Student Advocacy Committee for the Edson College of Nursing.
COVID has affected our organization's ability to hold meetings and the fact that we are no longer allowed to be in groups larger than 10 and we must stay 6 feet apart. What we have done to fix this is we have started Zoom meetings so that everyone can be involved and we can still bounce ideas off each other just in a breakout room.
Universities all over the state are having to learn how to work around the new CDC regulations, and it has not been the easiest transition. Haley Roberts is a member of Chi Omega at Northern Arizona University, and she explains how important it is for them to follow CDC guidelines.
We would get fined or kicked off. I think they are kicking people off campus if they hold like big parties or events. And then we can't post pictures with more than the CDC recommended number, I think it is, without a mask on. So NAU would also punish us for that.
Not being able to meet in person has temporarily changed student life. However, these students are doing everything they can to make their semester feel normal.
Rush was all Zoom, and then bid day, if the girls felt comfortable, they could meet some of us, but it was only like in groups of like 2 or 3. Like it was super minimum, obviously with masks. But yeah, other than that, like I haven't seen a ton of my sisters because of it. So that sucks, but at least they're like handling it. So yeah.
Some student organizations are even beginning to see the benefits of working virtually.
Personally, I believe we are still getting the full effect of the organization. We're able to meet together, we're able to bounce ideas and actually come up with solutions. And one thing I love is that the solutions we make help not only my term, but the future terms that come through the nursing school, and that's very gratifying.
Haley Bartow, Cronkite News.
Finally tonight, ASU and the City of Phoenix are teaming up on a cool pavement pilot program, as our Melissa Zaremba reports.
Back in August, the City of Phoenix launched a pilot program studying the use of cool pavement.
They will be coating the road surface with a highly reflective seal so that more of the energy that hits the road during the day from the sun is actually reflected back into the atmosphere. So that means that the surface temperature of the road actually stays cooler than a regular asphalt road.
The lighter color can help reduce the heat island effect, which is when the daily temperatures in urban areas can be about to 22 degrees hotter than temperatures measured in the suburbs.
Also put some temperature sensors called eye buttons inside the pavement, inside the road surface, so that we can measure the temperature of the actual road and also see how, over time, the road is degrading faster or slower.
Comparing the two pavements, looking at the traditional asphalt pavement could get up to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hotter than Arizona's hottest days. But according to the City of Phoenix results, the cool pavement is already seeing a 20 degrees difference in surface temperature, which is already a major difference. The city is testing the coating in portions of 8 neighborhoods and 1 city park, areas where the asphalt needed to be resurfaced anyway.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.